Hi, this is Crossy and welcome to the first of what will hopefully be a series of shoutcasts on my YouTube channel, which has been painfully inactive since I've got the thing set up. Like most things, had grand plans for it, haven't really found the time to put any of them into practice yet, so yeah, that's my bad. But there is a reason I'm doing this, and the reason is, well, to the point when one or two people would have said I was up there with the best in Europe, and well, let's put it this way, I'm not at the level that I used to be. In fact, I'm so rusty that I don't know how I even got good feedback like that. So work is to be done, and I'm going back to solo casting, which is where I hone my skills to begin with. So what you're going to see is a series of games that I shoutcast just to try and bring myself back up to speed. I'll warn you now, some of these, especially the early ones, are probably going to be terrible because I've been doing a fair bit of shoutcasting lately. I'm starting to get back into it, but if you're casting with someone, which I've been doing the whole time, you find that you've got someone to fall back on, you've got that support, and when you're solo casting, you don't have that advantage. So this is going to be interesting. There is nowhere for me to hide as we see a game between the stars of Europe at the moment, Ninjas in Pyjamas, and they face off against 3D Max, containing two players you might recognise if you're coming in from a Counter-Strike Source background like I am, in Guardian and PHP of the legendary Reason Gaming lineup. And we're seeing the first round unfold. It's a 2v1 in favour. Make that a 1v1. Guardian's got it all to do though. He's got to defuse and he's got to find Get Right, who is up in the upper area, well and truly dug in. That nade is going to do the job. Guardian was down to low HP, and it's going to be 1-0 to NiP, the Swedish team. Out on the harder side, this is Train, and it is playing more even than it used to in Counter-Strike Source. The bomb site has been moved into the middle of main, which is interesting in a number of ways, as you can plant on either side and hold it in whatever way you want, and it does make it a little easier to push out into main and get a plant on an eco just to rack up the money. And you can always bed in and try and hold from that point as well. And of course the economy is working in a slightly different way as we see NiP going on the AK buy. You can get away with this now. You don't have to go for an SMG or a cheap rifle. You can go AK all the way on second round if you want to. As we see the bomb get planted, Get Right gets one, taking down Oscar. Freiburg firing in a nade to the back of sight. And we're on board with Freiburg as he mops up Sneaks, the last man at the back of AC. And that's aces to 2-0. Little spoiler for you, I am getting a little bored of seeing this game because I have already shoutcasted this once and I didn't record. So yeah, I spent half an hour talking to myself, watching this game once through, shoutcasting it, and then I didn't even bother to hit the big red button to record it, which is awkward. Not the best, as we see a push out, and Exist takes down Cap 1, who is trying to get on top of that Train. Forrester in there taking a couple as well, and Guardian, last man left alive. 5v1, they know he's in the connector. That nade from Freiburg probably would have done the job had Get Right not. But Get Right in there with the frag. Now if you're looking for a player to watch in terms of controlling the weapons and the recoil and the spray, you can look no further than Get Right. And as far as gun control goes, something special. It's a joy to behold. To his 1.6 background, I've seen this at a variety of levels since Go's come out, from players that have come in from 1.6 rather than from Source, who are much better at controlling their weapons and fire and aiming for the head. And the main reason for that is because CS Source was all about the spray and pray. You could get away with crouching, spraying, pulling your mouse down a bit, or just wazzling around and you could fluke a couple of headshots. And It's tough for me personally, and for a lot of players that play on high sensitivity or don't have the best aim in the world, because that's one big advantage that we had in Source. No such luck anymore though. This game does sort out the men from the boys a little bit more, and the 1.6 players seem to be racking up some good results. NiP in particular have been virtually unbeatable in the major European lands, and we are seeing numerical advantage in favour of 3D Max in the first buy versus buy. Guardian with his favoured AWP in hand, taking down Fiffler, and it will be NiP's AWP throughout this. Exist taking down Sneaks with a bit of help from Forrest on the assist. Cap 1 trying to make something happen. He's cut down by a short burst from Get Right. Control, as we talked about, and it's a 1v1 again. Guardian having to go for that defuse, does take down Get Right. Sees him down there on the lower ramp. I think he had a good inkling of where his opponent was going to be. Gets himself the defuse, and that is 3-1 in favour of NiP. Fifth round incoming then. UMAX still not in the best financial situation. We do have a couple of pharmacies out. So you see a couple of smokes, well-placed smokes coming into the main area. Oscar going for an aggressive push here. This could be interesting. Takes down Freiburg, and Fiffler does take a tagging, but only taken down by 9 HP. Falls off an AWP shot. If Oscar had got in there, taken down the main AWPer and Fiffler, and also mowed down Freiburg and whoever else he could get, that would have been a game changer. Okay, maybe it's a bit early for a game changer, but you know what I mean. Getting on board with Guardian, misses a fairly routine AWP shot, I think, and does get exist on the second try, but not a good sign for Guardian. I'm expecting him to be the standout player, as his face gets ripped off by Fiffler and the AWPer. 4 NiP, 3v2, but Forrest and Fiffler on low HP, and Fiffler does go down to Sneaks. 40 seconds left on the clock. Bomb currently down. Get Right gonna have to try and make a play to grab that. It's sitting in the middle of the site, I believe. Sneaks does get one in a little confrontation with Forrest and comes out on top. We've got a 2v1 duel. Sneaks and Cap 1 taking on Get Right. 20 seconds left to go. Get Right's got the bomb in front of him. Probably not going to make a play for the plant. He's got to try and pick off these two players. He gets a little angle on Sneaks, but not enough. As passive as they can. Sees the legs of Sneaks, who's hopping around trying to get out of that, but no such luck. Get Right does cut him down. 1 second left to go on the clock. Get Right's not going to get that plant. Will these two fight it out? Yes, they do. And Cap 1, nice work with the Famous taking down NiP's Get Right, and that is going to make it 3-2 in favour of 3D Max, trying to pull this one back. And they need to. They don't want to drop too many rounds on this terrorist on the CT side against the terrorists, as they are on the easier side. In theory, they should be having a better go at this one, and it will be down to them locking down their sights as best as they can now, as it's buy versus buy all the way. Still a couple of pharmacies up for 3D Max, so still finances aren't where they want them to be, so they don't want to be dropping any more rounds yet. That's not going to leave him in a good situation. So we've got a set up with the bomb, looking for a play in B. Oscar gets himself up to Nest and does take down Freiburg, who had cut down Cap 1, and at that point that is the trigger for the push to come in. Sneaks takes down the bomber on the site and takes down Exist as well. Fiffler coming in a little bit too slow to save both of his teammates, and he's going to be looking to try and grab that bomb just to his right. He's got Oscar and Guardian looking out for him, as Oscar steps down to take down Fiffler. Knows he's got Get Right in the connector, but doesn't get an angle on him. Guardian, in the meantime, knows roughly where Get Right is. Got smoke blocking him off so far. Oscar firing in a flash. That's going to blind blind get right, and Oscar gets the chance to fire off a shot, goes for a burst, then steps back in. I thought he would have been a little more aggressive there and kept with it. Guardian take down to 13 HP, and Guardian's going to get chased down by Get Right. Oscar trying to get an angle, and he's out in the open. Get Right's got his pistol out. He gets the chance to take down Oscar. Oh, that was a couple of questionable plays in there. Oscar, I'm thinking he could have sat in there a little longer and taken on Get Right. In the end, it gave him a chance to chase down Guardian, cut him down, and Oscar trying to get an angle on Get Right, who was going for the push. No, that will have been called by Guardian that he was getting chased down. Found himself out in the open, missed the shot, and gave the Swedish player the chance to pull out his pistol and make the kill. And that is a round lost. That should have been 3v3. That should have been a much better financial situation, but no such luck as Forrest picks down Cap 1. Round about the site. Get Right pushing in. Takes down Oscar in the connector. Exists. Mops up Guardian. PHP trying to dig in, but Get Right finds him at the back of A2. Sneaks with it all to do. Does get Exist on the top of the train round about the Heaven area. But Pistol mops up. 5-2 in favour of NiP. So it shows what difference a round can make. It could have been 3-all 3D Max with the cash to buy. And NiP a little bit up against it, but instead it turned to an eco to 3D Max, decided to play that passively, gambled and went onto the right side of A, but just couldn't lock it down. And as we've seen a couple of times already, Cap 1 is the guy that keeps him getting picked early doors in that open site. Fairly slow build up from NiP, they're splitting up nicely. Seem to be working the idea of getting a pick and then hitting one of the sites, usually the opposite site. Not the worst tactic I've ever seen. Fifth one with the opening pick takes down Cap 1. Exists, mopping up Sneaks and PHP very quickly as he follows up. Guardian with it all to do now as he takes down one and Exist. He's got Forrest at the other end, round about the bomb train if he wants to go in and push for that one. Frybug does have the bomb in hand. Oscar stepping up, and Get Right is doing the unglamorous job, sitting above Pop Dog to take down any potential rotators, and that works really well. Forrest mopping up Guardian, the last man, and it is 6-2. Early lead opening up for NiP on the arguably tougher T side. But to be honest, these guys are making all of the opening picks. I don't want to single out Cap 1, but I kind of have to, because he's going down virtually every single time that an attack goes into that upper site. Needs to change things up. He either needs to be more passive and keep himself alive for the retake, or he needs to get more aggressive, get himself in the spot where he's not getting so comfortably picked off, as once again Oscar goes down as we see NiP pushing into the main site. And it's too easy as Cap 1, PHP and Guardian go down, trying to lock down around about the bomb train. They need to spread out a little more, because they're just too easy targets sitting there bedded around the site. Against a mixed team or someone of a lower caliber, you might be able to get away with that, but NiP are going to be on point. They're going to be coming in from all sides, from all angles to cut you down, and you can't cover everywhere. You know, it's not going to end well if you're in that sort of situation where you're just sitting on that little bit on the bomb train, and it's showing. 7-2 in favour of NiP. 3D Max back amongst the guns at least. But that's no small consolation. They're not going to be happy with the way the score's going here. Just waiting for things to develop. NiP playing it the right way, seeing if there's any aggressive pushes coming in from the CT side that need to try and change up the momentum and get a few more rounds on the board ASAP. Nothing coming in, so it's going to be down to what they want to work. Smokes and flashes going down in the main area. This has been a hugely successful play for them, barreling in as Cap 1 gets himself in a spray down with Freyberg and comes out second best on this one. PHP has got himself on top of the pot train. He gets two Get Right and Freyberg with great use. 2 3-shot bursts do the job. Guardian with the AWP, taking down Fiffler and the NiP AWPer, and numerical advantage goes in favour of 3D Max. They need this round if they can to take it to 7-3. Forrest trying to make it happen, and he has tagged down PHP to low, and PHP finally mopped up by the nade from Exist. Got Oscar in there to finish off. Second 7-3. 7-4, so oh no, 7-3. Well, I can tell you one thing. That bug that's stuck with me throughout my shoutcasting career has come back. I seem to lose the ability to count when it comes to the pressure of solo casting. And Fiffler does get Oscar, but Guardian mops him up straight away. So avenges his teammate. If he'd been a fraction of a second earlier, then it would have been 5v4 in favour of 3D Max, you would have thought. But hey, Guardian does his job. He outpicks the guy in the middle, and if one of his teammates wants to kamikaze in front of him, well, that's their choice. But NiP have the numerical advantage, and Get Right gets Guardian from behind. Guardian on the spin, taking down Get Right. I would not have favoured him in that situation at all, but he digs himself out of it. Nice work then, and 3D Max still have a fighting chance of getting 2 rounds on the bounce here. Trying to build a little bit of momentum if they can. There's Forrest on half HP. Going to try and make something happen at the B area while Freiburg keeps the bomb safe in T connector. So a 1-1 split between the two sites. This is interesting. I guess if Forrest can get himself a pick, then it will have been an ambitious play, but a good one. I would have maybe favoured these two guys getting together en masse and making it happen, but they've actually forced a rotate. Forrest making enough noise in there that both of the players from 3D Max have committed, and Freiburg takes that kill from Guardian as his chance to go and get that plant in. He's planting for the open area, and that's something you can now do. You can plant for open, or you can plant behind the barrels and get yourself a nest plant. Whatever you feel is most comfortable for your situation. Seems like the European teams favour the open area, throwing the smokes in and getting some crossfire down. Won't be any crossfire here for Freiburg, who's on his own against 2. He knows he's getting pushed here, I imagine, and he finds himself in a battle with Sneaks. Doesn't really find Head, doesn't get anywhere near finding Head as he cracks up a couple of shots. Sneaks gets the kill, and then the defuse. He's the man with the kit. And that takes it to 7-4. 3D Max putting a couple of rounds together on the spin. Much needed. And if they can lock it together here and bring it to a win on the half and make it 8-7, that's about all they could hope to get out of this one. And against the best team in Europe at the moment by some way. And you know, this isn't just a flash in the pan job. These guys have been here for a good 8 months at the pinnacle of European CSGO. On board with PHP. And again, slow build up from NiP. It's working well for them. They find themselves walking into the sites almost at ease, so I don't blame them for sticking with what works. They're coming out on top with virtually every entry pick they go for, or have been going for. And we're seeing some aggressive plays into B. Flash is coming in, smoke's coming in. Bomb gets himself onto the site. PHP's got the angle on the on a couple, takes down Freiburg and then takes down the planter Exist. He's got Fiffler with the AWP stepping in there. PHP didn't spin to his left fast enough. And it looks like Fiffler could get a second. The Sneaks pops up and very quickly taken down. Guardian against Fiffler, and they're both up high. AWP versus AWP battle. Guardian can get this one. He's got a player, he's got his teammate there, Cat 1 trying to get the defuse. No such luck. If Guardian had made that shot on Fiffler, then it could have been a different story. He might have been able to push up and save his teammate, but no such luck. Guardian saves his AWP, his weapon of choice, takes it to 8-4. And after a couple of rounds on the bounce for 3D Max, they find momentum shifting very much back in the favour of the terrorists and NiP. ...8-7 against the best that 3D Max can hope for, but I'm not seeing them being able to put this together as Fifthorn again takes down Cat 1. And Cat 1's trying to get himself to that position underneath Crows, or maybe get on the train over that way. And what he's maybe forgetting is that you can get an angle on that. If you're in T-connector with the AWP like Fifthorn is going to most rounds, there is a chance where you can be shot from underneath the trains. And that's kind of in exchange for what was a much more comfortable pick out towards main if you're on the T side. Get right gets the plant on the site, and it's 2v1 against Sneaks. He is tagged by a headshot, but that only brings him down to half HP. Sneaks in the area around side. Going to cop a nade, but he's only tagged down by 2 HP with that. Sneaks stepping out, takes down Get Right, and he's in a 1v1, 19 HP against Fifthorn. First one's got a nade. If he can throw that in, it might do the job. No such luck. And they find out around the train. Sneaks looking up top. Fifthorn again, second time in the round, goes lower, goes underneath, gets the chance to shoot at Sneaks' feet, and goes for it. Getting himself a kill, and that's 9-4. 11-4 for NiP. That's pretty much game over for them. Disaster for 3D Max though, if that's the situation they find themselves in. Not good at all. And Sneaks could see some action. We got a fast, aggressive push coming down B. Slowing it up a little bit, NiP waiting for their teammates to get there, but Forrest is down. Fifthorn is down there with him. Fifthorn gets the AWP pick, taking down PHP, working from lower this time. You normally expect the AWP to go up, but not this time. Freiburg gets one as well. Cap 1 on board with him, trying to make a rotate, but Get Right mops up Oscar and Guardian, and Cap 1 pistols in hand, trying to work something very slowly in CT spawn. Freiburg coming in, takes down one, takes down Guardian. Going to get the second on Cap 1 you'd expect, and does. And Cap 1 sitting there, 2 and 13. He's cannon fodder in the main area. Just can't get anything going, poor guy. But I think if you were sitting on board and watching him, if you're a major Cap 1 fanboy and were expectating him for the whole of this, I think you'd be disappointed, because he's just getting himself picked off, and it's happening so regularly that I'm starting to think he's not doing much about this one. It's not like he's getting himself in spray downs with people and coming out second best. He's just not even getting a chance to open up some frags. Freiburg fakes the nest. Cap 1 does step to try and look out. Just managed to make out the figure of Cap 1 through the smoke. Did Freiburg. Forrest gets one. Oscar and Guardian trying to fire back. Oscar last man left alive against 3. And Forrest with a couple of bunch of frags there. And that takes it to 11-4. I'm just going to tab out and make sure that I'm still recording, because that last time I recorded this one, it decided not to. I didn't click the buttons clearly, and little bit of a fail on my part. I am rusty though, as I say. And for 3D Max, priority for them is to try and win this pistol round and then piggyback the next two. 11-7 on the harder T side. Not the best, but it's salvageable. You're thinking they could maybe do something with that. I mean, Guardian has been the standout player for the team so far with 15 frags. Next to his teammate sitting there on 9. And he does have huge potential to drop bombs. We've seen it on Source. And I've seen him once or twice as well since he's come in to Go. And he still has that pure fragging ability. Teams up with the experience of PHP, his old teammate from the Reason days, who was the leader of that Reason team. The voice of experience. And those two boys in particular will have seen it all before at some point or another in the Counter-Strike series. So I think they've got the chance to at least put up a bit of a fight, even though this game does look as good as over. Getting on board with two 3D Max players as they try and make their way into B. Cap 1 spamming through smoke. Getting tagged down, he's on 72 HP. Stepping out again, trying to go for it. trying to pop through the trains underneath on that angle where he'd find himself in a bit of trouble. Freiburg, nice work with the pistol, gets a headshot with 2 or 3 shots cracked off. And the P2000, the starter pistol for CT side, isn't the best in comparison to the Glock, which is hugely imbalanced if you're talking about starter pistols. Now Glock, you can rip someone's face off with a 3-shot burst, you can use it at range, as Guardian demonstrates, taking down Freiburg. Exist in the meantime does get an NiP player. So 2v1. Guardian is the last man standing, manages to isolate though, gets Forrest on his own. He's got Exist coming in, trying to take him down. Uses all his bullets, tries to grab a pistol from the ground. Interesting play there to save himself a reload, but Guardian not going to mess around with that one. So good isolation from Guardian. Takes the 2v1 situation down to 1 that's very much in his favour. 1v1 with him on much higher HP than Exist, the last man standing. And that is a fairly comfortable round for 3D Max in the end. They're going to be looking to piggyback through to the next 2. Guardian steps out, tries to lay into Freiburg, and Guardian getting pushed, takes down Exist, going for the reload, smokes out there now, and he's stepping again. He takes down Forrest. Did he see him, or was that just lucky? I mean, that looks so deliberate that he must have known something there, and Forrest gets mowed down. And it is a 2 versus 5, make that a 1 versus 5. Oscar making good use of the MP7 and the controlled burst, taking down Freiburg as he steps in through the connector. Bomb ticking away on the B site. Get right, shotgun in hand, Nova in hand. And how much different that could have been if Guardian had gone down there from the aggressive push from Forrest. I think I remember that was jumping off the train. It would have been a different story. Oh no, hang on, it wasn't Forrest, was it, at all? It was Forrest coming in second, who found himself mowed down by a very deliberate but strange shot from Guardian there. It's like he came in for more.
Are you talking to yourself, or why are you recording?
User joined your channel. User left your channel.
Rusty.
User joined your channel. User left your channel.
Yeah, I'm trying to record for a shoutcast.
Ah, okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry.
No,
user left your channel.
And that's not gone well. I am using Teamspeak to record as it seems to be the easiest thing and cuts out my coughing fits and that sort of thing as Guardian takes down Oscar. Oh no. Completely lost track now. Oscar takes down Freiburg. 5v3 in favour of 3D Max. They're going to be looking to pick up this 3rd round. And as expected, you get the first pistol round. You're expected to take the next 2. But against the greatest team in Europe at the moment, in NiP, that's never guaranteed. But PHP does try and bring it home as he takes down Get Right with the MP7s. Forrest goes to the same fate with Oscar, who wasn't firing in the burst this time. He was unloading that gun, holding mouse 1, but still seemed to work out well for them. MP7 is cheap. It's a good economic buy, and if you can make it work for you, then fair play. And these guys are at the top of their game, both NiP and 3D Max, so they can go that way, go with the cheaper guns. And you know, it's interesting. I haven't seen them used very much in the games that I've played, and controlled bursts seem to work really well. It's like a FAMAS in a way that you can go for that, but it takes a couple more bullets as Cap 1 goes for an aggressive play, doesn't take any as he's got 3 players down there on site. Bold play from Cap 1, I think. He's only managed to rack up 2 frags in 18 rounds worth of Counter-Strike, and he steps down and tries to take 3 players out downside. If he made it, he would have been a hero, but that's not gone well, and it's a 2v2 now for 3D Max. Trying to rack up and get their 4th round, but in the buy versus buy, it is a cut down. PHP and Oscar fall to the remaining players of Get Right and Freiburg. Defuse goes in, and that's the run stopped. I'm going to call this now, and you'll have to trust me on this one. as I have already seen this one once after a Teamspeak recording fail in the first attempt. But I did call it that I didn't expect to see 3D Max get any more rounds. They are in a buy versus buy situation, and Guardian with his AWP could drop some bombs and make it happen. But things are just going too well for NiP as we see Cap 1 again. He finally does make his headshot that he's going for and takes down Freiberg at the site, but he's well and truly cut down by Exist in the meantime. He was stubborn about that. He wanted to step out of main and get someone downside, and he does in the end manage to make it happen. And 3D Max are going to be trying to turn the momentum back in their favour after dropping around. Try and get it to 12-8. Try and close this gap if they can. NiP aren't in a good financial situation to be able to buy again next round if they do all get dropped here, so there is a chance for 3D Max to bring it within 2 or 3 with a run of rounds. Timer ticking away, 40 seconds left on the clock though. Plenty of time to get things moving. 4v3. Guardian is getting tagged as he tries to step out and take Forest. Forest though is left alive after Guardian missed a couple of routine AWP shots on him. Forest gets 2, taking down PHP. Get Right gets 1 as he comes and takes down Sneaks from the push from side of Forest. Picks up his 3-man. Nice work there. But Guardian missed a couple of chances to take down Forest in that mid area. He had 2 shots cracked off with the AWP. Missed them both, and Guardian, who is an absolute beast without AWP, dropping frags in droves if he wants to. And, you know, to be fair to him, he's 13 frags ahead of his next nearest teammate. He's got 24. You got to let him off to a point. He can't do everything, but I have seen him, as I've been on board a few times, missing some sort of easy frags for a man of his calibre. As Fifth Run gets 1 with the AWP. Get Right and Exist gets a couple of frags as we see an aggressive push from 3D Max. Eco Bash, very comfortable, 14-7. And the NiP look to be cruising their way to victory. The 3D Max going on a full buy, but not a lot of cash in reserve. So if they don't take this one, you think that NiP have a very easy task ahead of them to pick up that 16th and final round. Right, but going for a slightly aggressive play. He's got a player jumping over the top of him. Doesn't see that one. Does manage to take down Oscar from point blank with the spray down. Exist does get 1, but he's cut down by Cap 1. So 2 frags apiece straight in that side area, but Sneaks is last man left alive. Great control with Yako taking down Forest, but he is dinked down to 22 HP for his troubles. Fifth with the AWP. Watching the T side of the bomb train. Could easily rip Sneaks' face off if he peeks, which he is. This could be game over. No, it's not. Fifth misses that AWP shot. He's got Get Right coming in on the pincer movement to help out. But yeah, I was surprised that Sneaks even got a chance to try and take down Fifth at the side. And a bit of a telltale sign that this could be game over as we find ourselves at match point 15-7 with 3D Max at a tight money situation, buying what they can. And I'll tell you what that telltale sign is, because this GoTV demo that I'm watching, all players have dropped to unconnected. So I'm not going to be able to give you too much insight as one player goes down for 3D Max straight away. Does manage to tag 2 players down to about a third of their hit points though. For the CTs, we see a push into the B site. Bomb is coming with. Flashes going in. All 4 players are still alive for 3D Max as they go try and spam through the smoke. Plant's making its way onto the site now. 5v4 in favour of NiP. European superstars. Bomb planted. And we are seeing the terrorists getting cut down. 4v2. Diffuser on the site. And that diffuse couldn't be stopped by the guy in upper, and the other in connector nowhere near to be able to do anything about it. So that is GG, 16-7, going to NiP on train. That was a game from the recent Star Series. And I've been Crossy, bringing you the first shoutcast for my YouTube channel. I've actually recorded this time, so that's worked out well, apart from the tiny little interruption in the middle which threw me off. Apologies for that. I will be working on the technical side of this shoutcasting thing as it goes on, so I'll be learning there and hopefully developing my skills back up once again to where they used to be. If you want to catch some of my action, I am covering the Enemy Down CSGO League Season 2, so it's worth checking that one out. I'm co-casting that one with Gumpster, one of the league admins, and plenty of other things that will hopefully be coming on the horizon. Things are a little bit rusty for me on my solo casting and my play-by-play, as you can see from this one. This is the first attempt though, so things will only get better, but with my co-casting with others, you know, I can just about pass that one. So thanks for sticking with me, and keep it locked to my YouTube channel. Subscribe yourself up to it if you like what you heard. I'm going to be bringing you some of the biggest games from Copenhagen games, from the I series which we've just recently watched, and pretty much anything else that I can pick up as I try and get back to that level of shoutcasting that I once used to be at. Oh, what it would feel like if I could do that again. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching, and catch you later.